Hey, everybody. Welcome to Text Request Talks, where we have conversations with business leaders about how they make things happen. Presented by Text Request, the business text messaging platform that lets you text from your office phone numbers directly on your computer or any other device so you can stop making phone calls and start actually getting responses. I'm Kenneth Burke, and today we're speaking with Trevor Rappleye, who is the CEO and founder of Franchise Filming. Trevor, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on. And what a great intro that was. I may have to ask you about what you guys do for suppliers. I'm not even kidding. So there we
Hey,
go.
do it. Well, let's kick it off. So, what exactly does franchise filming do? I guess what's the 30-second elevator pitch, and then who would be a good fit to work with you?
French Franchise filming, yeah, we do one thing, we do it really well, and it's video. It's any type of video that ZORs need. Franchise validation videos, marketing videos, B2C videos, anything the franchisor needs in terms of real, authentic testimonials. That is what that's what franchise filming does, and that is our passion.
And so, you personally with this, so if I've got my numbers here semi correct, you first picked up a camera at 13 and started filming at 15. Is that right?
It was 2003. I was 13 years old. The VHS, the big VHS shoulder cam, going going way back. Yeah, fell in love with filming authentic moments. Is really where my love came from. The good moments, the bad moments, my mom getting upset at her 5 kids, my dad golfing in the backyard. It was just those moments made me fall in love with filming in general, just filming the moment.
Was there a particular moment that made you want to turn this into a moneymaker? I know. So, I was big into music in high school and through college. Thought I was going to be a rock star. My screen's blurred, but there's three guitars, a violin, and a piano right behind me.
I love that.
And for me, once that I started having to figure out how to earn money from it, it kind of tainted the passion.
Mm,
But in your case, it seems to have gone the opposite direction. You've made a whole career out of it.
what a good thing to ask, man. So first off, I've never had another job. I worked as a bag boy for like 3 months, and I'm like, I don't want to put groceries into bags anymore. I want to go back to what I love. So it's a great question. I'm a firm advocate that at the front, when you really want to do your when you really want to do the thing that you love, the thing that you wake up excited for, that usually doesn't pay the bills for a couple years. And that's the hardest thing, is realizing, well, I love to film. I'm going to film for a 2 or 3 or 4 years and get paid nothing. Actually lose money because that's how much I love it. So I'm a firm advocate that at the front of something, you're not going to make money from it. But that's okay, because once other people see what you can do, then you can start to charge for it. So um, I got started into filming by doing weddings. I was doing wedding videos for like $100 a pop. They're the worst videos ever. Like, I filmed my aunt's wedding, and it's just the worst video at 14. What, right? And I realized when I was 18, I could turn this into a wedding film. I could film people's weddings and get paid for it. So I have filmed over 300 weddings in my lifetime. The good moments, the bad moments, the drunk moments at the bar, the emotional moments, the story, right? And that is ultimately where franchise filming saw a leak in the franchise space, which is no one's telling stories. Even on the supplier side, where's the stories of the founder, of the customers, of the success? Why is nobody doing that? And that came from my love of filming weddings.
How do you find the story? I know a lot of times people will say, well, there's not, if you ask somebody, tell me a fun fact about you, they will be stumped for hours, right? And so I'm curious, how do you uh, go to clients or potential clients and say, hey, this is a story that you've got, you can tell, and we can help you tell it? Walk me through that.
Yeah, so whenever someone can't find a fun fact about themselves, they're thinking too politically correct. Like, we all have a fun fact. Just tell us what you do for fun, right? Like, but the story. There's a story everywhere. There's a story with everyone that you serve. What I have found is the obstacle is the supplier or the franchisor is too close to see it. And they don't know, how do I film that? Mary's in Michigan and our HQ is in Houston. So they just end up doing nothing. Or they end up filming at the convention, boring talking head with no B-roll, no story. So it's about, and I wish I had a printout of it. It's about finding the story. And in every movie, the hero has to overcome something, right? So they overcome it, the story arc, right? And Zors are forgetting to focus on what people have overcome. So they just talk about how happy they are being a Z. But no, you got to say what they overcame. Like, I remember one of the best things that we ever filmed, someone that owns a restaurant. Just 5 years earlier, she was homeless. And someone gave her a shot to be a chef. And then 5 years later, she owns five of those like restaurants. That's the story, is having someone overcome that. And you better bet that when we sat her down, we asked things to evoke that emotion out of her, to the point where she actually got emotional on film. And it was such a cool moment to be able to capture something like that.
You now you have a good team around you as well, helping you with franchise filming. How have you made the transition from sort of individual contributor to owner, maybe team motivator? Or are you still, leading the charge on creating videos every day?
No, so I'm going to show you a book that changed my leadership. John C. Maxwell. I'm not sure if you've heard of him. I've read all of his books. And no, I mean, for the past 5-6 years, I have not been involved on the day-to-day filming, editing. I have such an awesome team that does it. And there's a story I kind of want to tell that really made me realize that it's time to scale. At the height of event filming, which was my wedding filming company, we were doing 300 weddings a year. Like, we were doing 11 in a weekend. I can't be in 11 spots in one. It's just physically not feasible, right? And I called up my mentor, who I've had for 15 years, and I go, Vaughn, this is crazy. Like, everybody wants me. Like, they want Trevor on site. And he goes, Trevor, your ego is showing. Founders are never as good as they think they are. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm the best shooter in California. He goes, no, you're not. And the minute that you realize that is the minute that you will scale. That's when I woke up and I realized, wow, there are people a lot better than me filming wise. So I can focus on the growth. I can focus on the scale. And now my love went from filming stories to networking with Zors to help them find their stories. My new love is that side of it.
Small business owners in general, just as a people group, have a tough time often of separating themselves from the business. So, my business, especially if I'm a founder, my business is my identity. My identity is my business, is what people are paying for. And I'm really curious, what steps did you take, even once your mentor called you out? What steps did you take to start to separate yourself from that, especially without, I guess, losing clients or hurting those relationships?
So that's a great thing to ask. It all starts with the perception, right? The minute I remember there's a story, actually, that same video I told you about, and I'm not saying the name, the restaurant owner that used to live on the streets. A week before that shoot, I emailed the brand and say, hey, can't go, I'm gonna have someone else on my team go. They went ballistic. They're like, no, 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 no. We want Trevor on site. And I called up my mentor and I'm like, Vaughn, can you believe them? They're like getting mad that I'm not gonna be on site. And he goes, well, what expectation did you set? Trevor, you kind of did bait and switch them. They've never met this person on your team. And you're doing it 3 days before a shoot. Trevor, you gotta go. You gotta go to Washington and film this. And from that day, we started a onboarding call where the clients meet everyone on the team. And I say, hey guys, great speaking with you. You are in such great hands with XYZ. And since then, no one has ever asked, why aren't I on site? It's usually about how you onboard somebody is the reason why things go right or wrong when you actually get to filming.
You've mentioned a couple of things for your, I guess, leadership and professional development already. So John C. Maxwell, your mentor, um, you've been doing this for a while now, 20 some odd years. And I'm curious, what do you do to keep learning and growing? Or is it just maybe that you're at all these events anyway, so you kind of happen to, get
Mm.
secondary knowledge? Or what do you do?
Yeah, I
Does
get
filming change
I,
that? Sorry, does filming change that much, or is it all
I mean,
business related?
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Filming just changes all the time, right? And the perception of filming has altered. People think, well, things are cheaper now. I can do it, but they're not realizing the logistics and the schedules and the editing. We take 10 days to make videos when other people take 10 months, 6 months. Like, so it's the system, right? So I can tell you, whenever I have an obstacle of someone on my team or kind of outside, well, Trevor, I'm going to all these shows, like I'm reading. I go, but who is telling you that what you're implementing is correct? You can read something, but how you implement it is totally different. So I have had a goal since I was probably 18 that I invest 1% of our yearly money, yearly revenue. I dedicate that to learn, mentor groups, leadership groups. And COVID, I actually didn't take it away. I actually increased it because I said, hold on, now I have to make sure I lead even better through this. So the one thing that's really helped me is I dedicate and spend money to make sure I have people around me that can help me when I am feeling down or when we're winning. If you're not dedicating money to learn and pay for mentorship, I would ask yourself if that, how is that not the most important thing you can do as a leader? And I'm just going to end with this. The amount of times I've called my mentor and he says, Trevor, you're just wrong. I'm like, what? There's no way. He goes, Trevor, you're just wrong. I mean, I can lie to you, but you're wrong. That has saved things that I've been so right on, like I've been on the verge of firing someone. He's like, Trevor, no, go way back. You were wrong at the front. Save it, and it's just been a like lifesaver. Yeah.
Going back a little bit, you said everybody wanted to work with Trevor. What did you do to make that happen? How did you approach customer acquisition? Or was it just, I got to meet everybody I can and email everybody I can, see what happens?
Well, it's funny. I had a business partner for about 2 years back in 2014, and we had different views of what marketing should be. I wanted my business to be tied to us filming weddings. I wanted my Instagram, I wanted my personal Instagram, I wanted my personal Facebook. If people saw stuff from me, they knew I was the wedding shooter. Him, he wanted to separate it. But I'm a big advocate when you're starting off on your own, they have to be the same. You are the business. You are the business because people need to think you need to tap into your own network first if you're going to go off on your own before you try to tap into other things first, right? So I don't know if I answered your question correctly. What did I do that right?
Yeah, pretty close. I mean, just how'd you go about acquiring customers? In your case, you're saying,
Yeah,
if anybody came across you in any way, they knew what you did, and as the need would arise, I guess they would reach out.
correct. They knew what we did, and you got to be, and I'm a big advocate. We spend a lot of money on shows, a lot of money on expos, marketing. You need to be where the fish are of the people you're trying to target. And sometimes that's really expensive shows. That's just the way it is. So don't whine about it. Go be where your ideal people are, because the other people that are just going to cold email, they're not going to win the deals you are, because you got to hang out with them. You got to go to the bar with them. That is so powerful. So I always tell people when they don't want to spend money on a show, I go 3 days in front of your laptop or 3 days at a show. What's gonna move the needle more?
It seems like wedding events was going very well for you. So why did you make the switch into, I believe you did a couple of pivots into corporate filming and then more specifically into franchise filming. Tell me about that process.
Yeah, there's a book called and I have this all around me. There's a book called Focus, Change the Game, and it's when I realized I needed to niche. This book woke me up. The minute that you turn away business that it's painful, that means you niched right. And I turn away business that's not in franchising, because if you're going to niche, you have to niche effectively. And so I don't like saturated spaces. I think when I was in weddings, 2010 to 2017, everybody started to film weddings. Like, I bet 10 people that shoot wedding videos, but how
My
many,
college roommate, in fact.
right? But how many franchise videographers do you know? That's what we're going for. I don't like to be in a bucket of other people. I'd rather be number 10 in a smaller pond than number 100 in a big pond. I'd rather the deals might come less, but they're higher revenue because people are paying you for your expertise. So it came out of reading. Like, it came out of, we were working so hard to book wedding videos that had a 12-month sales cycle between booking a wedding and making it, when my first B2B video was 10 times the revenue of one wedding video. And I said, hold on, this is crazy. And that's what kind of let things off. So
In franchising, do you typically work with a client for a one-time project, or is it typically an ongoing relationship? Or maybe you're making a video a month or something.
yeah, so we recommend, of course, not more than once. Sometimes brands need to kind of see the output, because a lot of our education is, why do I need video? And I'm just like, that can't be what we're talking about. Like, why you need video? You have 500 units. I'm all right. Here we go. We'll start over. Like, I will gladly educate them. It's one of my favorite things, right? So what I recommend is ongoing videos, whether it's of leadership, whether it's of your franchisees, training videos. Video is never a one and done, just like how with sales, lead gen, it's not one and done. Why is video one and done?
How do you keep those relationships going? Are you at every event and you're just in front of them and around them constantly, or what do you do outside of that?
Yeah, so I'm a big advocate of, I want to be someone's friend first and then continue to be their friend. Like, friendship is never one and done, right? So we go to, I would say, over 2/3 of all the franchise shows. I mean, it is not a cheap. I know Zors that don't even go to half the stuff that we go to. I just know how powerful it is just to be in front of people, to like network with them. So um, it goes down. There's a book called there's a book called Wow Your Customers. I'm forgetting the book name. Um, it will come to me after, where you have to do other things that people think are kind of weird. And that's the memorable stuff. So we know everyone's birthday. We know their birthday. It sounds so unique. Okay, but what are you doing on their birthday? So we send them a birthday box, we send them an email. When if someone signed with us and we know their dog's name, we'll even give them a dog bowl with their dog's name on it. They're never throwing that away. That's the stuff that keeps it going after we're done. And every time they like see the dog bowl, they're like, oh, French is filming. That's the stuff. You got to keep it going, and it's really hard. And I purposely try to do things that other people think are weird, even my own team. Like we brought dogs to the last show. Not sure if you're at the IFA. Yeah. We brought dogs. We got weird looks from my team. I got complaints from the other booths that we were blocking the hallway. We never had a moment where there wasn't 50, well, not 50, I wish, at least 25 people at our booth every single second. That has been our best show ever because of dogs. It's what can we do as marketers and as salespeople that other people won't do? That's my favorite thing.
I love that last line of that too. And I almost hate to start to end this conversation because it's been so interesting. But if there was one thing you wanted to leave people with, maybe it was a book recommendation, a leadership lesson, as something else, what would that be?
Mm. People see over 10,000 ads a day. Consumers see 10,000 ads a day. Is what you're marketing, is what you're filming, is what you're making really going to stand out? You need people's attention. And that starts at telling a story and inspiring them. That's the one thing I want to leave people. Is your content, is your brand inspiring people? If not, that's the root cause of it all. Yeah.
Well said. Thank you for your time and expertise, Trevor.
Thank you. Appreciate it.